All right, full disclosure, I had all my notes on my phone and then I dropped my phone on the ground and it shattered into 100 million pieces, and now when I kind of hit the power button, it like glows green and I think it might explode, so it's gonna be an interesting video. All right, Secret Invasion, episode 5. That means we have one left, one final episode remaining, and then I'll do a full review, so that's exciting. I'm getting kind of tired of saying this at this point, but this is a really fun show. I saw that they're putting the first 3 episodes on Hulu, and I think that's a really good idea, because get some people watching it. It's a great show, and it deserves to be watched and talked about. The first and most important thing as far as I'm concerned about this episode is we finally get Fury back. Like, I've been talking about it for the last several videos. It feels like this show is kind of tearing down Fury to build him up, and we did it. We got it. He's back. He's Nick Fury again with the eye patch and the jacket. I do love that. Okay, so I think it hit the perfect note of just like, goofy's the wrong word, but like it's a little goofy, right? So in every like second to last episode of these Marvel shows, or maybe sometimes the last one, you get this costume reveal and it's supposed to be this like, oh cool, the costume. And sometimes it is. Captain America's new costume kicks so much ass, it is indescribable. Same with Ms. Marvel. And then sometimes it's like, okay, that's also a costume. I thought that I want to say her name was Scarlet Scarab, maybe, in Moon Knight. It's fine. It's a little CW. She's a good character, but this looks fine. Anyway, I love that Fury got his own little like costume reveal, but it's just like, he goes into this like cemetery wearing a jacket, and then he just leaves wearing a different jacket, and somehow that worked for me. Like somehow that got me just like cheering instead of like, this is dumb, why did he change jackets? What's gonna happen to his other jacket? Like, is somebody just gonna be mourning their uncle, and then it's just like, oh shoot, it's a sick jacket. But either way, this is what the show has been about. This is all the people complaining that like Fury is just not what he used to be. Yeah. That's because you haven't seen the whole show. There you go. It's a well-written show. Can we just live in this moment for a second and enjoy that this is exactly what happens when you assume what's going to happen in the writing? Some of the same people, like me and probably you on the internet, were just saying, hey, let's see what the show does with the character before we get upset about what the show might do with the character, right? Like, let's just give it a chance. And every episode has proved to me that they know what they're doing and that they're going towards something and not just like trying to make him disgruntled. I'm not sure what the problem is. Anyway, I just love that now this is exactly what everyone has been upset about and wanting, is to get Fury back on the show. And here he is, he's Fury, and we got to watch that beautiful progression into Fury. And I just know people are going to be upset about it. Like, I can already tell. I haven't seen any reviews, any reactions to this, but I can already tell there's going to be people that are upset about something. They're going to find something to be upset about, and that is hilarious to me. Honestly, this show is just really good. I'm super happy with it. Gravik is a crazy good villain. I've loved seeing him. Okay, I was thinking about this, because I kind of feel like Flag Smashers and Gravik are, in the same world of villainy. Like they kind of operate under the same thing. They all want a similar thing, not the same thing, but a similar thing, to kind of radically restructure the world, all that kind of stuff. But what I appreciate so much about Gravik is that you get to see him very slowly just kind of lose it. And that's way more interesting to me than like Carly, I think was her name, from the Flag Smashers, where she's just like a good person, you totally support her, and then she blows up a bunch of people. I love that Gravik is like, you watch people in his kind of circle be like, I don't know if he should maybe be doing that. Like, I don't know if that's the right thing to do. He's a bad dude. And now everybody sees it. Even the people that are involved in his whole thing. There's probably a subsection of the Skrulls that are there that kind of want to support him and are still on his side. But like, people are not happy with that. And that's an interesting villain to me. That's way more interesting than just like a bunch of bad guys that are all kind of goons. I think it's more interesting to see this weird like insurrection in the bad guys group, and you get to connect with some characters you totally didn't expect. I like that. To me, that's a sign of good writing. Along the same lines, Gaia is so much fun in this episode, this whole show, but especially this episode. Emilia Clarke is just tremendous, and I think we all kind of knew that. I haven't watched any of Game of Thrones, but like, even I know she's great. She's just a great actress. And she's really bringing it in this. She's a great character who's fun and different and feels like a new energy without being the kind of classic Marvel, like, young girl character who's a genius for some reason. Like, that's kind of their go-to, and I like that she's not that. She's just trying to find her way, do whatever she can. Now she's got superpowers. That's exciting. I do wonder, does she have the whole Groot thing? I don't know. All we've seen is Extremis. I kind of hope she does. That'd be fun. Her scenes with Priscilla, Fury's wife, are some of the most engaging of this whole season, which is crazy to me because it's two characters that I really had no idea who they kind of were going into it, and now they're some of my favorites. Same, by the way, with, I want to say, I'm gonna go on a limb because I don't have a phone to Google it. I'm gonna say Olivia Colman, I think is who that is. But she plays Sonya, the kind of MI6 agent, I think, now leader maybe of some kind of special task. Anyway, she's a blast in this episode. She's so much fun. And her whole like interaction with Fury, talking about the Widow's mask and being like, is that, you can just do the face? And he's like, well, newer versions can, but of course he doesn't have the old versions. I love that. That's such a great tie into the universe, and it brings so much interesting stuff. Same thing with like bringing in the Black Widow, the guy who gets all the tech in Black Widow. I like that he just shows up and there's no like pause for applause. There's no like, oh, you were in the Black Widow thing. He's just like, he just talks like he's a character because he is like a character. And in this world, you just be like, yeah, it's like Dave or whatever his name is. That's something that I love about this show, is it doesn't feel like it's trying to shoehorn characters or references from other things into this. It's just whatever fits, and whatever doesn't, I'm sure somebody else will pick it up along the road. To that end, actually, I really hope the final episode of this show doesn't have like Captain Marvel showing up in it. There's probably a way to do that, but I kind of hope that it sticks with this crew that they have. And I know a lot of people were talking about the potential to like introduce some of the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. characters. Don't get me wrong, I would love that. I've been rewatching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and that show is not, spectacular, but really fun. So yeah, if like Skye shows up, sure, of course, I'm gonna be stoked about it. If Coulson shows up, it'll be great. But like, there's just something to this show that feels like it doesn't need to have that big reveal for me to feel satisfied, and so kind of I hope they restrain from doing that. I don't know, either way I'm good, but like, there's a part of me that hopes that they just stick to what they're doing and really finish it out strong without trying to razzle dazzle us, like you've done that. We're good. Like I'm already satisfied with the show. You don't have to pull out some crazy cameo for me to feel like it's a good thing. I am interested to see what they're gonna do with the harvest, I think is what they called it. Whoever's DNA that is. It seems like it's probably Captain Marvel. They reference her by name, so it seems like it's probably gonna be that. It would be a real twist if it wasn't, I think, because like Fury and specifically Skrulls have had a deep connection with Captain Marvel. Her whole movie kind of revolves around both of those. So then to not have her be the DNA, that'd be an interesting twist. And if it's like Hulk, that'd be sweet, that'd be fun. But who knows? Like it could be anybody. It does seem like that's kind of what they're getting at, though, is that it would be a Carol Danvers, which I think is interesting. I think if you were gonna get an Avengers DNA, that's probably the best one. Like, I honestly don't know. Does Hulk's blood like transfer over? Is there like diseases you should be worried about? I don't know with gamma radiation. I got no idea. Anyway, I honestly don't have a ton to say about this episode other than just it's great. It's really good. It sets up on a cool kind of cliffhanger. I'm excited to see how they wrap up the show. I really hope it doesn't fumble it. There's a track record there. I really hope that this show really just brings it home. If it does stick the landing, I think I'm pretty confident in saying that it's the best overall MCU show. We'll see, right? We'll see what happens. But like, just in terms of, I don't know, it's top 3. It would definitely be top 3. You've got Loki, you've got WandaVision. I thought Moon Knight was really, really good. Yeah, I don't know. But so far, I would put it above Moon Knight. I would put it above WandaVision. I might put it above Loki. I don't know. I guess we'll see. Here I am doing exactly the thing that I complained about people doing earlier, which is assuming what the writers are going to do before we actually see what they've done. There is so much shit they could do in that last episode to completely tank this. So who knows, right? Like that's kind of I guess the danger specifically it feels like with Marvel shows where I don't know why that is exactly, but I feel like a lot of them have kind of had one or two just like, oh, that's a weird episode. Like we're doing a time travel thing. Wasn't this show about like high schoolers? I'm trying to think if there was anything else. Graphic is good. Fury's good. Sonya's good. Gaia's good. I'm glad kind of that Talos is still dead. That sounds dark, but like I appreciate that this show is willing to just kill characters and keep them dead. Like there's no final reveal of like, oh, it turns out, no, like he's dead. And so is Maria Hill. Like that's pretty cool. I think that brings something sort of a weight to the show that it wouldn't have if everybody just kind of sort of came back. I don't know what to tell you. This show is just striking a really great balance for me. I think it hits all the spy notes that I was hoping it would. It's got some kind of comedy, but in an unexpected way that I think works really well. It's got great character development. I really am invested in Fury, which hasn't been true in a minute. I just feel like we haven't had that same connection to Fury, right? Like since Avengers, maybe Age of Ultron, where you're like, he shows up and you feel like he's a character and not just like, oh cool, they put Fury in this, like just as a pastiche. Like this really feels like they're trying to do something with him, and I think it's really succeeding. So yeah, now that we are far enough into the show, let me know what you think in the comments. I would love to hear what you guys are enjoying, not enjoying, what you wish they did better, what you want them to do in the end. Just let me know. Be interested to hear your thoughts. Thank you for watching this video. If you'd like to check out some other videos, if you missed a couple of the videos from the other episodes, they're all on my channel. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, comment below, tell me everything you feel, or don't. I'm not your dad.